Hello, how's it? Indian Cowboy live show, Sunday, September 25th, as we get this video to you. Hope you guys are doing well. Hit me up on whatever game that you want to talk about. Um, and I'll be happy to discuss it for you in the next 10, 15 minutes or so. So hope you guys are doing well. Go ahead and start tossing those games out for me, and we'll start discussing them in just a second here. So yeah. Hope you guys are doing well. We have a 7-unit NFL selection today, later on today, which is important, at 8 p.m. tonight. So looking forward to that. And we also have a 7-unit baseball selection at 4:10. So, hey, Reggie, good to see you. Hey, I see good vibes. Jackson, good to see you. Ravens, Pats, Saints, Panthers. All right. So Ravens, Pats. I think I had a lean. I had a lean here. Let me make sure I don't give any of our premium selections away. By the way, I am about to publish our football play for today. It is on the Rams and Arizona under, so be sure to check that out. Let me make sure that our 5 units between the Colts and Chiefs, Vikings, Lions, Broncos, 49ers, Giants, Cowboys. Yeah, we can talk about the Ravens and the Pats game. Let me see if I have a lean on that there. I did not. So let's talk about the Ravens, Pats now. So obviously this game goes off at 1 o'clock. Ravens minus 2.5 point favorite. Line is sitting at around 44.5. Public likes the under in this game. So you have two teams here. You have the Ravens at 1-1. Obviously, they lost 38-42 against Miami. They beat the Jets 24-9. Now that Miami game is interesting because they just coughed it up late. I mean, Miami put up 28 points in the fourth quarter. That's got to be heartbreaking for a team that was up 35-14 going in. And maybe everybody gives a hard time to the Falcons, right? Because they were up 28-3. Well, the Dolphins gave up 28 points in the fourth quarter, but of course that was in the Super Bowl. And I'm just being a diehard Falcons fan, but New England comes off a nice, 17-14 win against Pittsburgh. They lost 7-20 against Miami. There's no doubt Baltimore's a better team, and Baltimore might not even stop the gas here. I think they're just going to be so upset coming in. And New England won 23-17 last time as well. I know that Baltimore is a massive favorite here at minus 2.5, meaning that the public is all over Baltimore. But I still like Baltimore. I think they got their attention in their last game. I actually think this game is going to go over. I think New England can be an active dog. I hate taking a public favorite in general as it is. So I'm either leaning here on the Ravens or the over. But to be on the safe side, I might want to take the over. But I don't know. It's hard to ignore the fact that Baltimore really needs this game, and they should have won last game, and they are the much better team. So my lean here is going to be on Baltimore. By the way, at the end, I will summarize this for you, all of our leans, okay? So that's what we have for you there. Moving on here, Jackson also asked about the Saints and the Panthers. The Saints and Panthers, yeah, I don't think I have a play on that, so I can talk about that game too. Let's see. Yeah, let's talk about that. So in the Saints versus Panthers game, you have, Saints are favored by minus 2.5. Totals at 41.5. Everybody's just absolutely just piling on the Panthers, which is kind of a shame because I think it's affecting Matt Rule's health. You have a Saints team. You have a Saints team here. You have a Saints team here that lost 10-20 against Tampa Bay. That was a game they were actually in that game. Tampa Bay had to come back, right? It was 3-3 going into the fourth quarter. The Saints played phenomenal, to be honest with you, and they always seem to match up well against Tom Brady anyway. But as it relates to this game, they beat Atlanta 27-26. My Falcons have lost, I think, 2 games by a combined total of 4 points. Carolina lost 16-19 to the Giants, 24-26 against the Browns. To be honest with you, I actually think the Panthers are going to show up. I mean, not the Panthers, but I actually think that, I think the Panthers can show up today. I just, the Panthers didn't play. The Giants are actually better than advertised, to be honest with you. So, even though the Saints are favored by 2.5, and even though the total sits around 41.5, I think the people have been piling onto the Panthers a little bit unfairly in some ways. I actually like Carolina here. I think this will be the great opportunity for them to pick up their first win. I think that they've had a couple of tough games. I think that the Saints, if you look at the defensive side of the ball, Carolina lost 24-26 to the Browns. That's not a bad loss. They lost 16-19 to the Giants on the road as a -1 favorite, by the way. And yes, New Orleans beat Atlanta, but that was Atlanta's first game. It wasn't that impressive, and they lost to Tampa Bay. But that was more of Tampa, Tom Brady just not having his head in the game, if you will. So I actually like Carolina here today. Moving on here. Thoughts on Bengals? Hey, Icy. Hey, Brian. Good to see you. Thoughts on Bengals versus So thoughts on the Bengals game. So Cincinnati rolls into this game. By the way, we have 4 selections to go off today. I have 7-unit NFL selection, 7-unit baseball selection. Be sure to check those things out. So the Bengals Jets game. I actually like the Jets in this game. I think the Bengals come in as a -6.5 favorite. They really need to blow someone out, but when you start looking into this game more and more, the Bengals come off that 17-20 loss to the Dallas Cowboys. You have to think they get their attention. I actually wish this line wasn't so big. I know the Jets come off a big win against Cleveland 31-30, but do you really trust the Jets coming off back-to-back wins is what I thought. Originally, when I saw the line, I liked the Jets, but the more I thought about it, I don't trust the Jets coming off back-to-back losses. You have to imagine that Cincinnati, who lost 17-20 as a 7.5-point chalk against Dallas, who didn't even have Dak Prescott, is going to be motivated coming into this game because they're already 0-2. If there was a game that they were going to bust out and go ballistic, it's going to be this game. And therefore, Cincinnati Bengals is my lean today on this game. So and this is one of those things that your leans change throughout as it gets closer to game time. And I always mention it to you guys that as the weeks progress, some leans could change. But I like the Cincinnati Bengals here to bust out, to pick up their first win. Perfect opportunity for the Jets to have a massive letdown. And therefore, I like the Bengals today. Thoughts on Brian Shelton, men's tennis? Yeah, I think he's a fantastic player. He went to the University of Florida. His father's the head coach at Florida. I think he will do very well long term, but I think he needs like a Taylor Fritz type of thing. He needs a couple of years underneath his belt. Taylor Fritz played great yesterday in the Laver Cup if you watched him against Cam Norrie, the British star. I think in 3 years he's going to be good. But to be a tennis pro takes good time, and this is from someone who was a semi-pro tennis player. It takes time to understand the wide serve, the tee serve, how to return, the movements, how to act as a professional, all that type of stuff. What do I think about Sunday Night Football, James? That is my 7-unit play, so I really can't talk about it. But that is our 7-unit play tonight. So far, we've talked about Baltimore -2.5, NFL Carolina, lean on them, and Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals Jets over. Hey Donda. But the total is only sitting at 41. That's the reason why I was afraid of that. So it's either Bengals or nothing for me there. Bills Dolphins in that game. Bills Dolphins. Yeah, we can talk about that. Let me make sure. I have a feeling I'm kind of giving up some premium selections here. Let me make sure. If I did, I'm sorry. Colts, Chiefs, Vikings, Lions, Broncos, Cowboys. Yeah, I haven't given it up yet. Yeah. So moving on here. Make sure I don't talk about the Bills. Can I talk about the Bills game? Yeah. So the Bills game I can talk about. For the Buffalo game, I actually think total is at 52 and then it bumped up to 54.5. Buffalo just continues to roll up the scores a lot. Miami started off the last game so poorly, just piss poorly last game, and then they made that huge comeback. Buffalo's routed both teams 41-7 and 31-10. Buffalo won this game 26-11 last year. They won 35-0. Miami has won 20-7, and they're also 2-0 as well. But I think what happens this game is I think both these defenses, I think Miami's defense will start off much better in this game theoretically, and I think Buffalo's defense has been pretty good so far. But at the same time, what if Miami is an active dog? Their first half, the last game, they didn't start off well. They might start off faster this game. And then you have a Buffalo team that just continues to score a lot of points. And I don't think Baltimore's offense is that good, and they put up 38 on them. To be honest with you, I actually like the over between Buffalo and Miami today. I think that is a decent lead to have. And after this video, I'll put up the daily video free pick, which is on the LA Arizona under. We have a couple baseball leans there too. Hey, IC, good to see you, Big Wig. How do you feel about the Carolina game? Yeah, I lean on Carolina in that game. Analysis earlier in the video. Ice Cold. Hey, good to see you. How's it? Seems like a high total for 2 bad offenses. James Cropet. Yeah, that's our Sunday night game. That's our 7-unit play. But yeah, we'll talk about any other game that you want to talk about. Hey, Raphael. Thanks, IC, for the feedback anytime, man. Lumi Wilson, Packers. Yeah, so Green Bay game. I don't have a play on that. The line opened up at 47.5, went all the way down to 41. Green Bay is 1-1, and Tampa Bay is Tom Brady's going to show up this game. Every time he has a horrible game, he shows up this game. He's going to get excited to play Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers has a classic letdown spot after the big win against Chicago. I don't think the Packers are that good. They lost 7-23 to Minnesota. They beat a very lackluster Chicago team who has a quarterback that's horrendous right now. And then you have a Tom Brady who scored 3 points going into the third quarter, and then they needed that big fourth quarter. He had a horrible game, 18 for 34, 190, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He always gets up to face Aaron Rodgers. And without a doubt, my lean here is on Tampa Bay there for game number 5. So let me recap it for you. Here are your 5 leans that we talked about. If you want the detailed analysis, just watch the video. It's there. Lean number 1, Baltimore Ravens -2.5. Lean number 2, Carolina Panthers. Lean number 3, Cincinnati Bengals. Lean number 4, Tampa Bay Bucks. And lean number 5, Buffalo and Miami over the posted total. There's your 5 games for you. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me see here. And I think that is about it. Those are your what do you think about the Colts game? The Colts game is one of our 5-unit selection, and the Green Bay game, I just gave it to you. And I will put another daily video up for you shortly, and it'll have 2 baseball leans as well. Hope you enjoy the content, those 5 leans for you, and we try to keep it within 12 minutes or something, and we'll try to do it for you every day in addition to our daily video as well. Please take a moment and like the video if you get a chance, and happy Sunday. Hope you guys do great today.